Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
It's been 149 years since the first tombstone marked a grave. Known first as only the graveyard, then Creel Cemetery, and now officially as Creel Memorial Gardens. These grounds have been dedicated for many generations now as a final resting place for the families of this great community. We're especially honored to have 203 United States veterans buried here.
We have two men who fought in the war between the states as Confederate soldiers, P.C. Long and James B. Parker, both buried here by the year 1910. Our first recorded World War I veteran was John Calvin Creel in 1916, followed by Newton Ryan in 1927, David Robert Cole and Jerry Edwin Matern in the 30s. During the 1940s, we saw the deaths of Alan Johnson Ryan, Leroy M. Reeves, who gave his life for our country in World War II, Albert L. Lyles, John O. Green, David Menzo Harrison, Newton L. Green, and Jacob Malley Gilley, our first recorded Korean War veteran who also served in World War II.
George O. Earhart, Wayne Amos Dickerson, Guthrie Mathis, and Johnny Parker were all laid to rest in the 50s, joined by Arthur Adams, Charles A. Hebert, Seaborn Raleigh Cole, Clifton L. Rostrom, Joseph Fred Lee, the first Vietnam veteran known to be buried at Creel, Harvey Kingery, Arthur M. Reeves, William David Parks, and David J. Creel in the 60s.
During the 1970s, our area began to lose a larger number of our veterans, beginning with Lank Parker and Joe Jr. Kingery in 1970, John Anderson Royer, Robert L. Thigpen, and Lawrence W. Nelson in 1971. We also lost Ernest R. Johnson, Cecil L. Ritchie, and Frank B. Bridges in 1972.
Alton J. Pudgy Holland passed away in 1973, along with Kearney J. Swallow and Murphy James Parker. Clarence S. Bennett died in 74, followed by Danny Clay Wagner, Lewis Ford Parker, and Weldon Jerome Lynch in 75. The latter part of the 1970s saw the deaths of Nathan A. Parker Sr., Horace Eldridge Earhart, Christian T. Heyman, Jefferson C. Venable, Robert C. Leggett, Mansell James Parker, William J. Earhart, and John Ray Ellis.
Barry Lewis Hardin was interred in Creel Memorial Gardens in 1980, followed by Carlton Wilmer Veach and Millard S. Wilson in 1981. Tommy E. Williams Jr., Thomas E. Donahue, and Island J. Anthony joined them in 1982, and Richard D. Pozaitis, James Champagne, R.V. Earhart, H. Lawrence Earhart, and Gerald R. Rawlings Sr. in 84.
Harry Lee Black, William Seth Baggett, Curly East, and Oliver J. Reeves all passed away in 1985, followed by George R. Shuck Reeves and David M. Cole in 1986. Ambrose Yarbrough, Andrew Lewis Mohot, and George J. Morrison died in 1987, followed by Ralph L. Stanley and Irby L. Parker in 1988, and Alan Manuel in 89.
James C. Gwynn, Andrew D. Pozaitis, and Jennings C. Reeves passed away in 1990. Cecil P. Pettifield, Dallas J. Atalis, and Johnny Pacat in 91. And Nolan S. Bennett, Eugene W. Cushing Sr., and Chester E. Strassner in 92. Clyde L. Newell and Lee L. Parker Sr. were buried in 1993. William F. Fuller II, Edwin Kirby Green Sr., Thomas W. Clinkscales, and Edley Overton Fleury in 94. Robert Ray Smith, David Harold Harrison, Michael J. Reeves Sr., and Joe Parker in 95.
William Thomas Updegrove and Walter Lawrence Barker were added in 1996, followed by William Lester Donahue, Miles Alfred Parker, Albert O'Neill Dodgen, Steve Hazelton, and Willis Forrest Walker in 1997. Wallace Ray Creel passed away in 1998, and Herbert Holland and Leo Cole by the end of December 1999.
The turn of the 21st century brought many more veteran deaths to the area, beginning with Jack Dempsey Lyles Sr. and Robert Allen Cole in 2000, and Earl H. Miller in 2001. David Lester Matern passed away in 2002, followed by William E. Hall, Arthur Lee Reeves Sr., Frank B. Long, Coy Lee Evans, Nelson B. Thompson Sr., and Theodore Edward Filipsky in 2003.
Richard Benton Walker, W.H. Bates Millsaps, and Leland Boyce Simmons were laid to rest in 2004, and Howard Herbert, Charles Matthews Reeves, William Leo Green, Almond Pud Reeves, Fred Allen Ritter Sr., Elbert E. Pappy Donahue, John Calvin Creel, and Amyon Dickerson in 2005. Aaron Lee Salinas, Herman Saunier, Archie A. Felice, Lawrence Huey Price, and J.W. Buddy Parker were buried in 2006, and Joseph Gerald Thigpen, Jerry Lynn Fontenot, Pat Parker, Jack R. Doucette, and Newton Gerald Thigpen in 2007.
Amos Earhart, Malcolm Arnold Parker, B.C. Haley, our first veteran known to have served in Iraq, Dennis G. Rhodes, Wilbur McDaniel, and Edward B. Dickerson all passed away in 2008. Darrell Wayne Mears Sr., H.J. Pettifield, Charles F. Johnson, Hillary G. Parker, Robert John Carroll, Dave Calvin Creel in 2009. 2010 was marked by the deaths of Victor Bernard Abbe, James Edward Ritter Sr., Huey C. Perkins Jr., Mitchell Ladd Hoffpower, and Thomas Jefferson Green, followed in 2011 by Jimmy William Harper.
Irvin Nolan Green, Joshua Shane Reeves, Presley Francis Savoy, Kenneth Wayne Donahue, and Hollis Larry Elam were added in 2012. Dale C. Aarons, Charles Terry Lee, Albert Conard A.C. Blackley, Howard E. Nesbitt Jr., and Mansell Reeves in 2013. Herman L. Stanley and Ralph Douglas Saunier in 14, and Dempsey C. D.C. Ryan Jr., R.V. Albert Earhart, Elmer O. Cobb Alexander, George B. Snuffy Smith, and Gerald Gilley in 2015.
John M. Marcantel joined the other veterans in 2016. Philip Charles Pellerin, William Henry Millsaps, Lee L. Pee Wee Parker Jr., Philip G. Harrison, and Orville Allen Anthony in 2017, and Howard Otto Hazelton in 2018.
In 2019, we lost Lance Labert, Timothy Joseph Granger Sr., and Scotty L. Weingart. In 2020, we lost Jimmy David Gill, Marvin Timothy Baggett, John Kirby Lyles, David Edward Gilbert, and Donald Petrie. Andrew R. Reeves Jr., William Robert Reeves, Earl Edwin White, and Charles Perry Bruce passed away in 2021. In 2022, Ray Benjamin Reeves and Guy Carroll Heyman joined the other veterans buried here. And in 2023, we lost John Freeman Conley, Stoney Reeves, Wayne Evan Forrester, and James Ray Brown.
In 2024, Terry R. Reeves was laid to rest here. In 2025, we added Isaac David Mohot, Newton Gerald Thigpen Jr., and Douglas Neil Watkins Sr. And since the beginning of this year, Ronald Jerry Long and Charles Pete Reeves have also been interred in our cemetery.